So when I'm gonna get off, I'm gonna stop filming. I'm gonna go videotape. I'm gonna go home, maybe finish up this in the house. But the bottom line is that the public schools in America are atrocious, and it comes down to parenting. Period. So it's hard. So to improve the public schools, one way, not the only way, is you have to almost separate vicariously through books and on field trips, or either take the children out the neighborhood. You got to separate the children from their home life, from their parents, from their mothers. It sounds harsh. I've studied these things. It's almost because, or we have to have the resources. If you want to do it that way, you have to have the resources to have, small classrooms, no more than 15 students per class, which, America's not going to spend that kind of money. We'll build bombs and go to war before we spend that money. I'm talking about urban public schools like cities like Chicago, tough towns like Chicago. And then you have to have tutoring, like almost like a year, like an all-day 24-hour school where you go to school, you get your breakfast, you do your 6-day hours of school, you do your homework. They let you, they have tutors to help you with your homework every night. Then give you a little exercise, then we send you home. Because the home life, that's all it is. This is the neighborhood I live in. I'm on the Dan Ryan Expressway going to the south side. I raise my children out here. I have to take if I want my children to be, six-figure children, to do well in school, get a good scholarship, I couldn't let them play with the children in the neighborhood. That sounds bougie. Because the average kid in the public schools are not going to college. And if they do, they're not finishing college in their early 20s. You think I'm lying? The statistic is, here's the statistic. Less than 7% of incoming freshmen, 7% of incoming freshmen in the Chicago public schools will obtain a 4-year college degree by their mid-20s. Less than 7% of Chicago public school students that are freshmen right now will obtain a 4-year degree by the age of the mid-20s. And you think that's crazy. Listen, less than 30% of Americans have a 4-year degree. Less than 30%. College ain't for everybody. Then it's almost so expensive. A lot of folks don't even want to go because they don't want to go $50,000, $60,000 in debt to get their degree from a decent school. We have a class issue. And don't think Barack Obama is going to solve it all. He's a nice guy. I voted for him. If he runs a second time, I'll vote for him again. But I understand the limitations of the presidency. I was talking to my children this morning, and I was telling about Ben Bernanke. I think I pronounced his name right. Ben Bernanke. He's the Fed chief. He's in charge of the Federal Reserve. So Ben Bernanke actually has, in some respects, more power over the economy of the United States of America than President Barack Obama, because he's in charge of the Fed. And the Fed, I told them the Federal Reserve is not really part of the federal government. It's not really a federal agency. It's actually separate from all of that. Although the politicians put Mr. Bernanke in, they can all that kind of stuff. They can deny his tenure or whatever. But the point is that Mr. Bernanke, the money supply, the Federal Reserve controls the money supply. Thus, they control interest rates and all this other kind of stuff. They can collapse the economy. They can stabilize the economy, which they've been trying to do the past year or so. So we need to understand these things. And let me go back. I'm about to come up on Simeon High School where Derrick Rose and a lot of great basketball players. I don't know any academic people come out there, because we don't laud the academic folks that come out of Simeon or any public school. All we talk about is the basketball players that came out. We African Americans, that's what I'm talking about. Simeon's coming right up. I'll give you a glimpse of it. But the bottom line is that in these neighborhoods, we're not, especially African Americans, Barack Obama is wonderful. Michelle and the two beautiful daughters, hopefully we'll learn something from them, because they're a wonderful family. But most of us are not we don't have wonderful families like Barack Obama. We're not blessed and highly favored. So who's going to come from upon high down to the hood and inspire the children in Auburn, Gresham, Roseland, Lawndale, Woodlawn? This is Simeon. That's the gym room right there. In fact, this is the new building. The other Simeon, they tore down the other building years ago. The old building with the cookie factory. It was a Kroger warehouse, Kroger grocery store, warehouse. and they made it a high school. And they tore that building down a few years ago. I don't know. I mean, I forgot when they tore it down. And they built this wonderful building. They should have made it a selective Roman school. I'm all for that. But they made it a general vocational school, which is cool. It's a good school. It's not as good as Whitney Young or Walter Payton or Northside Prep, but it's decent. But like I said, I guarantee you about 80% of the students come out of this building not going to get a 4 years college degree by their mid-20s. Because a lot of factors, the home life got to be stable. My parents, I love telling the story. My family gets mad when I tell them, but people say it's your fault, Mark, and that's why I'm radical now. Because my parents basically feel that it's up to you to go to college. It's up to you to want to really do it. If you don't want to do it, it's not going to be done. For some people, that applies. That wisdom applies. But I don't believe that. I think a lot of folks are not made. Some people are born brilliant. Other people are made brilliant. They made brilliant by brilliant parents, a brilliant neighborhood, a brilliant public school or private school, brilliant teachers, brilliant preachers or whatever. A lot of folks are not born magnificent, if you will. They're made. So if you're blessed and highly favored, if you had wonderful parents and you follow their dictates or whatnot, you probably done well. If you didn't have wonderful parents, people that's struggling to make ends meet or whatnot, not really focusing on value education, then here you is. That's why I love Gary Morgan. I always like to tell the students here in this neighborhood and other neighborhoods some of this. This is where Auburn Gresham meets Washington Heights. But I like to tell the students in the public schools, when I used to go to public schools, I don't go anymore because I'm just too harsh. My rhetoric is just too harsh for the kiddies, and they can't handle it. They get mad. So Mr. Sims got to retire. But what I'm saying is that I tell them, please, Chicago's a wonderful city, but go outside the hood. Please go outside the hood. Do that. See the world outside the hood. I'll show you the video. Please. And I always tell them, when you go out and see more affluent neighborhoods, affluent families, stable middle class families, stable middle class neighborhoods, or especially upper middle class neighborhoods, then you're going to either come back to the old neighborhood and make it better, or you're going to move and have a wonderful life. Please go travel. Go get on the plane. Look, there's Southwest Airlines plane coming down. You can't see. I'm trying to bring it up. It's got so much glare I really can't see the plane. It's there. It's coming down. But I'm going to show you that video right now. Go somewhere. Get out of Dodge. Please, get out of Dodge. Go somewhere. If you haven't been out of town in 6 months, 3 months, a year, please, leave. Go somewhere. Get on a plane. Get on a train. Get on a bus. Get out of the hood. See something. There's a big world out there. Outside of your neighborhood. For a few dollars. For a price of a gym shoe. A price of 2-3 pizzas. You can go see the country. Coast to coast. Go somewhere that you've never gone before. Go somewhere where you don't know nobody. Go somewhere there's no family, no friends. Just get out of Dodge.